Imagine it's 3 in the morning. You're lying in the dark, and there's a throbbing, white hot pressure in your jaw. A cavity has finally hit the nerve. In our world, you take an ibuprofen, wait for the sun to come up, and call the dentist. You're annoyed, but you're safe. Now imagine that same throb 30,000 years ago. You're huddled in a cave or a skin tent. There is no Novocaine. There are no sterile drills. There isn't even a mirror to see what's happening. For most of us, this sounds like a death sentence, a slow, agonizing path to a brain-infecting abscess. But here's the weird reality. If you looked into the mouth of a Paleolithic hunter-gatherer, you wouldn't see a graveyard of rotten stumps. You'd see straight, white teeth, worn down by grit, but remarkably free of decay. Our ancestors didn't just survive without dentists. For a long time, they didn't even need them. Today, we're going back into the secret lives of ancient humans to find out how they kept their smiles intact. The moment everything went wrong for our mouths, and the terrifying things they did when the pain became too much to bear. If you walk into a museum and look at a skull from 20,000 years ago, the first thing that hits you is how perfect the teeth are. They don't have braces, yet they don't have crowding. Why? It comes down to what we're eating. In the modern world, we eat soft food, processed grains, smoothies, and cooked to mush vegetables. Because we don't chew hard, our jawbones don't grow to their full potential, leaving no room for our wisdom teeth. But an ancient human was chewing on tough roots, raw meat, and fibrous plants from the moment they were weaned. This constant workout created wide, powerful jaws that easily fit every tooth. But what about the rot? We're taught that if you don't brush twice a day, your teeth will fall out. Ancient humans didn't have toothpaste, but they also didn't have our greatest enemy, refined sugar. Without the constant bath of glucose from sodas and snacks, the bacteria in their mouths, the ones that cause cavities, simply didn't have the fuel to create acid. Their mouths were a balanced ecosystem. They were cleaning their teeth every time they ate using the abrasive fibers of wild plants like a natural scouring pad. Just because they didn't have a plastic brush doesn't mean they were gross. Ancient humans were obsessed with the feeling of a clean mouth. Archaeologists have found toothpicks, made of bone and wood buried with skeletons dating back millions of years. Even Homo erectus had grooves in their molars from repetitive picking. But they went further than just picking. In many parts of the world, our ancestors used chew sticks, twigs from specific trees like the Salvadora persica or the toothbrush tree. When you chew the end of these twigs, the fibers fray out into a brush. More importantly, these specific plants contain natural antibiotics and fluoride. They were literally brushing with a medicated tool provided by the forest. And for the breath side of things, we find evidence of ancient humans chewing on resins, basically Paleolithic gum made from birch bark or pine. These resins were antiseptic, killing the bacteria that caused bad breath and gum disease before it could even start. So, if their teeth were so great, why do we need dentists now? The disaster happened about 10,000 years ago during the agricultural revolution. The moment we stopped wandering and started farming wheat, corn, and barley, our mouths transformed into a war zone. Starch is just a long chain of sugar. As we began eating a diet heavy in mushy porridges, that starch stuck to our teeth. The bacteria Streptococcus mutans exploded in population. Suddenly, for the first time in human history, cavities became an epidemic. We see it in the fossil record. The skeletons of early farmers are riddled with tooth decay that their hunter-gatherer ancestors never dealt with. And as the decay set in, the secret lives of ancient humans got a lot more painful. They had to become their own surgeons. When the natural cleaning failed and an infection set in, ancient humans didn't just sit there and die. They were incredibly resourceful and brave. In a cave in Italy, researchers found a 14,000-year-old tooth that had been operated on. Using a tiny, sharp flint tool, someone had painstakingly scraped out the decayed, infected tissue from inside a living person's cavity. Even more incredible, we have evidence from 9,000 years ago in Pakistan of the first drills. Using bow drills, the same tools used to start fires, ancient healers drilled perfect, tiny holes into molars to release the pressure of an abscess. They even had fillings. We found ancient teeth plugged with beeswax and bitumen, natural tar, to keep food out of the holes they drilled. It was crude, it was agonizing, and there was no anesthesia except perhaps a heavy dose of fermented herbs or a very strong friend to hold you down. We often think of ancient humans as primitive, but their dental health tells a different story. They were in tune with their environment, using the chemistry of the forest to keep themselves healthy. It was only when we changed our world and our diet that our bodies couldn't keep up. The next time you're sitting in that reclining chair at the dentist, listening to the high-pitched whine of the drill, just remember, you're participating in a tradition of mouth maintenance that is tens of thousands of years old. Only now, thankfully, we have the Novocaine. I'm Zane, and this has been The Secret Lives of Ancient Humans. If you want to know more about how our ancestors survived the impossible, check out our episode on how they handled medicine before hospitals. Don't forget to like and subscribe to keep the history alive.